Abra 2026 reveal. Hi chat. It's been a while. Missed you, man. Oh, welcome in, guys. Welcome in. I've missed you guys too. Tina! Oh my god, Abra, hello. I was literally rewatching you last night. Glad to see you again. Thank you for coming in, dude. I appreciate you still watching. That's crazy. I'm also about to find a job and graduate uni. It's been that long. Blink. We're brand new people. We missed you, man. Lovely to know that you're doing so much better. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it. Yes, I'm doing a lot better. I will give you a bit of a story time, I guess, so we can catch up a bit, and then you guys can tell me all about you, because obviously so much seems to have happened since I was last here. I'm employed now. Cascade, let's go, dude. It's been so long. I'm married with kids. You got married and had kids in the time that I've not streamed. That is wild. And you're still here, by the way. You're like, kids, hold on a second. Abra's back. Welcome back. Thank you, Scara. Scarawoosh. Oh my god. Again, the names are just fantastic. I remember them all. I feel like last time I was here, I was trying to get into uni. Well, if you're in uni now, congratulations. If it was a journey before, you've made it. See, you can reflect now. We can take this opportunity to reflect. Look back on when I last streamed. What was your position like, and what is it like now? Is it better? Hopefully it is. I was unemployed last time, and now and now when you are back, I'm still unemployed. Dragon, I'm so sorry, dude. I was really hoping that was going to be like, and now I've got a full career. I was expecting it, but it's fine. It's all right. Unemployment is not a be-all, end-all. As long as you have a support system, you'll be all right. It'll happen. It'll come around. Unemployed, but I'm happy. I got to spend time with my family. Of course, streaming again is great. You streaming again is great. Thank you so much, dude. Yes, and that's another important thing. Being unemployed allows you to focus on other things. You know, you can again, whether that's family, whether that's hobbies, whether that's whatever it is. You know, even yourself, just focus on you. I mean, again, that's the biggest lesson that I've had to learn. Does Abra remember his people? Kian, of course I do, dude. Every time stuff like this happens, it just blows my mind how insane the butterfly is. The one video popping up in my home page got me. Got all of us here. Blink, dude, that's so sweet. Yeah. Look what the cat dragged in. Rob. We're back, dude. I hope we're back, you know? We're all old. Yeah, someone said in Discord yesterday, was it yesterday? Yesterday or the day before, it was like, we're all unk status now. I'm like, it feels like it. It feels like it. First time I went on Abra stream, I was failing my first year of uni, and now I'm here finishing my master's degree. Time does go by so fast, Jay. Yeah, if you compare yourself from when you found the streams till now, dude. For some people, that must be like 4 years, 5 years. Passed my final exams, never been so relaxed. Sunset, isn't that the best feeling when you finally you finish your exams and then you can just stop? You can just stop for a bit. It's great. I want to say hi and listen to you again before going to sleep. I'll have to watch later, unfortunately. That's fine, dude. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're back. A lot has happened, and I will tell you all about it, Pratt. Thank you so much, dude. I look forward to hearing it. Again, you know what I'm like. If I pronounce names wrong, it's not that I've forgotten who you are. It's that I'm stupid. You're 4K HD now, dude. I hope not. You'll see like every pore and sweat on my face. I'm not sweating actually at the moment. The weather's cooled down now. It's not as hot as it used to be. Good things. I got a full-time job. Pratt, that's great. Pays pretty well. Let's go. That's always the cherry on top. I've got a loving girlfriend and I love her very much. Good to hear it, dude. Plus my little brother got a job too. And then the bad things were we lost our dad to a sudden heart issue. So yeah, Pratt, I am so sorry to hear that, dude. That is heartbreaking. I hope you're all right. That's never nice. Never nice. I've lost family in the interim between the last time I streamed it now as well, and it's really not nice. But hopefully the people around you are there to support you, because it's you know, spend time with the people you have, and it's never easy. You know, don't think just because you aren't over it. I don't know if you'll ever get over something like that. So don't blame yourself. Don't beat yourself up for not feeling great. I feel like Abra's a bit overwhelmed right now, Lamau, in a good way, of course. Cascade, is it that obvious? I am very overwhelmed. I'm trying my best not to skip chat. I'm trying my best not to get overstimulated, because there's a lot of flashing, there's a lot of movement. It's good, it's all good stuff. But I'm not in the rhythm again. I need to get back in the rhythm, but it's fine. I'm playing it smooth, I hope. I started watching your YouTube back when I was in college. Now I bought a new house yesterday. What a jump, dude! I've been influenced by Abra to start growing my hair out, and now it's pretty damn long. Lol, I'm kidding, but also not really. I use it to explore my sexuality a bit more. Let's go, Blink. I mean, it's funny because something I don't want to downplay having long hair, but I can see, you know, for me personally, I like having long hair for my own reasons, right? And something as small as like hair length can really make a difference. It's bizarre. Like I get, because some people would just say, oh, well, it's just hair, but like it can, you know, I prefer to have long hair than short hair. That's just my personal preference. But I know some people are like, well, you know, if you don't like hair, just cut it off. But some people just, you can't just cut it off, right? Because you might spend years growing your hair out, and then it's kind of like, I know there was someone that I read somewhere or heard somewhere that someone said something about like hair holding memories. And like if you have long hair, you kind of associate it with the time that it took to grow. And I really like that idea. It's a very interesting way of also coping. If you want to cut off that memory, you can then cut your hair. It's very, very cool the way it was explained. I'm doing it no justice. But yeah. I just started playing Skyrim for the first time. Dude, you are going to have the best time. Trust me, Skyrim is my all-time favorite game. What games non-gacha have you been playing? What a brilliant question. What have I been playing in the last 2 years? I've played the re-release of Pokemon Fire Red on the Switch. That was good. I have played Project Zomboid, is one of my all-time favorites. I've been playing Power World a lot recently. I know the new, I suppose that's something I've looked forward to, is the new update that's come out. More on that in a bit. What else have I played? Hunt Showdown, that's always a good one when I'm not getting destroyed. 7 Days to Die is another good one. I'm a big survival game player. I like survival games. I've dropped Genshin since I don't have that much time to play, and I got a bit bored of it. I switched to Trackmania. GG, nice. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with switching it up. Nothing wrong with that at all. Zomboid, yeah, Zomboid's great. Survival horror, I love Resident Evil. GG, you've just reminded me, I've literally recently started playing, I've played through, I started Resident Evil Zero's re-release on the PlayStation 4. That might have been on 5 as well, I can't remember, but I've got it for the PlayStation 4. I got like a third, maybe halfway through it. I couldn't deal with the controls. I am an old gen in terms of I used to play like PlayStation 1, Xbox, like original Xbox, but like modern day gaming has ruined it. So the tank, I had to like watch a playthrough because the tank controls absolutely annihilated my sanity. And then I played through Resi 2 Remake, Resi 3 Remake. Love both of those games. I've recently started playing Resi 4 Remake, and I've played through 5, which is I know 5 has such like a random divide on whether it's the best Resi game or the worst. I hated it. I love Wesker. Chris and Sheva were great. Jill is also in there, but like, dude, what is that game? It's a fever dream. Resi 6 is great though. Loved Resi 6. So, and I haven't played Resi 9, but I've watched a playthrough of it. I'm looking at my library, seeing Baldur's Gate 3. Need to revisit the playthrough. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3. I've played Baldur's Gate 3. I love that game. Expedition 33. Oh my god, how could I forget Expedition 33? What a brilliant game. There's this indie game called Genshin. It's super niche. I'll have to check that out soon. I like that we've just gone on this complete, like, different tangent about video games, which I love, by the way. Don't get me wrong. But, like, I had stuff to talk about. Ish, kind of. It's fine. I don't mind. We can talk about video games. I don't mind. I've been playing D&D. Oh, Rain, I love playing D&D. D&D is such, like, it's the best nerd thing ever. I haven't ever DM'd. I'm a bard, usually. I love bard players just because they're so fun. They're so fun to play with because they just... If most... I'd like to think most players will think logically. Not every player. But the more creative, the better. But bard players, they are something else. You talk about a dragon, you build up this big moment, and they're like, I want to seduce the dragon. And it's like, oh, okay, we gotta roll this now. I did not plan this, but this is happening. And then they roll it, and then they seduce the dragon, and then you have to roleplay a seduced dragon. Is your PC upgrading? Don't tell me your RAM and SSD, because I will find you. Is that a threat? Okay. So, first of all, Genshin. Let me start kind of there. I haven't played Genshin since I stopped streaming way back when. So, I've not touched Genshin for, what, like 1.5, 2 years? So, anything that's come out since then, I haven't seen, I haven't played, I haven't done anything with it. Genuinely, I basically blacklisted Genshin from existence. So I'm very, very out of the loop. Yeah, I stopped streaming, and I said in the Discord. So if you're in Discord, you would have seen the announcement. But basically, the primary reason was I had a lot of exterior stresses outside of the streams. So again, what I said in the statement was true. Every bit of positive energy, all of the like, the good vibes and the happiness, woo, you saw on stream, that was very real. I wasn't faking any of that. That wasn't like a copium thing. That was very much I'm in my happy place. I'm with you lot. You lot keep the vibes high. I can bounce off you lot really well. That's kind of the best part of my day. It was the best part of everything that was going on in that moment in time. And it kind of got to a point where all of the exterior stresses, so I need to remember the timeline, but if you remember the streams, I was actually streaming from Alex's flat for a while. Thank you guys, you're so sweet. But that was just temporary. I didn't want to be a burden on her. I didn't want to be a burden on like anything that was going on for her. Obviously, I knew that for myself, I needed to get myself sorted. So I wanted to keep the streams going for you guys. I wanted to keep the streams going for myself because again, I was sort of relying on the streams mentally a lot, and that's not a good thing to do. If you find yourself relying on, especially the internet, I want to say as a whole, for like mental support, if it's all you've got, that's fine, but it's good to, I don't want to say touch grass because that sounds so like dismissive, but like see people outside of the internet, see people in real life, like connection, physical connection, speaking to someone face to face, having the human interaction is so important for your mental sanity that like I feel like as much as I can read the chat, I'd much rather have all of you guys in a room and we all hang out than the screen, because that's more personal, I guess. At the same time, that's impossible. So it's one of those things where it's like, if this is what we can do to hang out, then so be it. Oh god, sorry chat, nearly knocked you over. So I thought to myself, okay, I need to sort my living situation out. And it wasn't necessarily due to like something I had done. It was just the situation. Because I said in the post, I nearly went homeless twice. The first time was because I was being removed from the flat I was living in, literally because they didn't want me living there anymore. And this was before the UK government changed the laws to stop this from happening. So they basically just said, yeah, you've got like a month to get out. And I'm like, excuse me? Bear in mind, I looked after the flat. I'd like to think I'm a very tidy person. But they were just like, nah, we want friends living in here now, so you need to go. And I'm like, okay, nice. Fun. So then I had to basically moved back in with parents and just couch surfed, really is technically what you could call it. And part of that was then obviously living with Alex on and off, just staying with her for a bit, and just while I figured stuff out. It was messy. It was not fun. And the thing is, I didn't want to bring that to the streams. I didn't really want to talk about it because it was an ongoing thing. I didn't want to involve, it's just one of them. It's personal, and I think you guys understand that. And I didn't want to bring the vibes down on stream either. It was just kind of the place I could go, the place you could go, where we would just hang out, have a good time, and everything was just, you can figure out about the rest of the world. And it's exactly what it was. Yeah, it just happened to me. I was a no-fault eviction just before the change in the law. Yeah, it was brutal. It happened to so many people. It was not nice. Yeah, and Alex, she lived in another country, so that was another layer of stress of obviously I have to then abide to laws, like countries' laws, because obviously I can only stay outside of the UK for so long in another country for that country's period of time, all while doing research on where to live. So I ended up staying at my parents', and Alex is in and out. It was very messy. There was no like stability, and it became a thing of, oh my god, what do I do? And then the stress of staying in those places was stressful. So it was like, okay, well, now I need to move again. Where do I go? And thank the stars, I don't know what happened, but something, basically, a job appeared right next to where I was staying, and a house appeared like 5 minutes away from that job. And it was one of those things where I don't know what I did. I don't know if it was like good karma. I don't know if there is a higher power. I have no idea. I'm not religious, so I don't know. But it was one of those things where the stars aligned, and I was blessed with the fact that I got that job, and then I got the house. And it was like, what? Everything, and it happened like within like months of each other. It was so like stress, boom. And now everything worked out. And it was just insane luck, I guess. I don't know. From that point, and that's where I am now. So that's all well and good. And that's, you'll probably see, because when I last streamed, that was from here as well. However, there was still a lot of stress going on because of other things. Obviously, I was working full-time. I still am, technically. I was at work today, even this morning. I would have started the stream earlier, but I was at work this morning. But yeah, I stopped streaming full-time because I was working. But I hadn't dealt with the mental effects of everything that had happened. So, because of the stress, because of the anxiety, I was feeling very, like... Yeah, it was like head in the sand kind of feeling where like I didn't really know what to do. I felt like I was falling behind in terms of Genshin. I felt like I was falling behind in terms of streaming. And I know that sounds silly because all this is at the end of the day is like I'm a guy, I sit on my PC, I hit start stream and I just talk rubbish, right? That's all it is. It's not that deep. But streaming was my full-time job at the before then. So it was an adjustment I had to make with, in my head, streaming basically became a thing of like, this was your job, but now it's not. You don't have the mental or physical like energy anymore to give the best that you can. And I didn't want that to bring down the stream kind of quality. I know I'm not, again, I don't want it to sound like I'm like, oh, I have the most high quality streams. And oh yes, it was so professional, because it wasn't, right? It's not. It's just... but it was one of those things where I didn't want the streams to change. Primarily because I knew that's what you guys look forward to. That's what you guys were used to. And it was like... And none of you made me feel like that. I was making myself feel like that. So there was that weight as well. And instead of just talking to you guys, which I feel like I should have done, and I definitely should have done, especially in the last like 2.5 years, I should have been more transparent. Thank you, Ice. I appreciate that. It's one of those things where it's like... I did the thing where I just kind of turned around and I had to walk away, and there was no like middle ground. It was just kind of like, okay, lock in, be secure, don't let this happen again, and you can deal with everything else later. And I basically, and it really, really like, it was such like a pulling like two ways. Like everything in me wanted to stream, everything in me wanted to be with you guys, everything within me wanted to do what I loved doing, and that was this. But then it came to the reality of the situation, which was like, if you don't focus on yourself, if you don't focus on having this stable job, doing your best, we always understand no matter what, you don't owe us anything, it's just good to see you doing well. Yeah, and Eves, you guys have proven that to me so many times, that like I don't need to worry. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I really try not to like burden anyone with anything, and I really try not to like drag anyone else down, but it's so difficult when I feel that might happen, and then my immediate response is to shut down, and I don't, and it's not good. If there's one thing I could take out of all of this, it's if you're feeling like you're like going into a shell, like that's your first sign to talk to someone. Just lay it out. I know it's difficult. I know you don't want to burden anyone. I know you don't want to do anything that's like, oh, you know, I can handle it. Because I told myself that. I was like, oh, I can handle it. It's fine. It's easy. Whatever. But just you might be the strongest person in the world, physically, mentally, emotionally. you will have a kryptonite. It doesn't matter how much, there is infinite weight that can be put on you, and you are not infinitely strong. So just all it takes is that one thing that you can't hold, and the whole thing topples. So just when you notice it happening, pass it. Someone will be there to take it, right? They will be there to hold it for you. Even if they don't solve it, they can just hold it for a while. Just give you time to breathe. Alex was a huge support for that. Honestly, without Alex, I don't think I would be able to come back to streaming at all. Like, it's one of those things where I genuinely was at a point where I locked in so hard to not falling into this insecure like space in life, where I was like, okay, I'm earning as much money as I possibly can in a stable like environment. I am gonna make sure that I have no debt at all. I never really have had debt, which I'm very fortunate about, because I've made sure that I looked, you know, anything I get, I basically just don't put myself in that position. For some people, obviously, when it comes to education, it makes sense. I never did that, so I was very fortunate that I was able to avoid it. But like, just anything that would be remotely stressful, like bills or whatever, I was like, no, I'm making sure I don't lose this house, I don't lose this job, I don't lose the people around me in my like personal life. It was like I could afford no distractions. And it was one of those things where I saw streaming as like it was a distraction. It was a good distraction, and it was something that was more than a distraction. You know, it's such a big part of me. You guys are so like ingrained in the way that I think about things, the way that I want to go through life with, just keep streaming and keep, you know, doing what I love to do. And you guys are the ones to credit for that, because you've made this whole thing so cherished and like memorable and like pleasant. And it's like, I didn't want to ruin that. I didn't want to ruin it for me. I didn't want to ruin it for you guys. And the best thing I could do for myself in that moment was basically just, I don't want to say throw it away, because that's not what I did. I just kind of turned around and was like, if I don't look at it, it can't get affected by the stress. It can't get affected by the anxiety, and I can just leave it perfectly as it is. If I don't touch it, if I don't try and change it, it will stay as it is. And that's kind of how my mind thought about it. And I know for some people, that's not how you would have dealt with it, and that's completely fine. That's completely okay. If you think that I did it wrong or incorrect, that's fine. There are better ways I could have dealt with it, but I know how I should have dealt with it, and I don't want to say I don't regret it, because I do, in a sense that like I wish I was more transparent, and I wish I was more like just able to face it. Because I think for me the biggest thing is I viewed it as a weakness for a while, because I had to tell myself it's a distraction and it's not helping me, but it was. But it was, I don't know, it's kind of like a coping mechanism of like, lie to yourself about it so you don't want to do it, therefore it won't get ruined. It was weird. It was very, very toxic in my mind. It was very, very toxic. And it wasn't until recently that I really sat there, and I do a lot of reflecting now, and I think this is something that maybe you guys would benefit from hearing. I don't know. But like, what helps me is to just think about my situation logically, right? Things could always be worse. That's what I tell myself, right? It's like, think about the stuff that I have been through. Think about the stuff that I have got through, you know? And it's good to realize, like, realistically, what is hurting me right now? Is there anything? And no, right? Nothing was. I locked in the fact that I have a stable job. I have the house that I love, and it's one of those things where I'm stable that way. You know, I even, you know, I got married. That was a huge thing of like having, you know, the person I love with me, and it's just kind of like nothing is wrong. And it was one of those moments where I was like, now I need to deal with that, because when everything is right, you almost get this imposter syndrome sometimes, where like you tell yourself, okay, something should be wrong, right? Because things might have been wrong for a long time, and now that you sort of sit there and you reflect and you realize, wait, the things that were wrong are no longer wrong, and you almost there's a habit of like, I don't want to say it's like the perpetual victim, but it kind of is. It's like you tell yourself, okay, well, no, there's no way things aren't wrong, because something's always wrong. So you end up, you know, telling yourself something's wrong when it isn't, if that makes sense. And I realized, I just sat there and I had my streaming software there, and I had Twitch up, and I had like, again, I told you earlier, I was like watching through clips, and it was one of those things where I was like, I can't like what do I tell myself? Like, I've been telling myself that this is a problem, but it's not. It never has been a problem. Like, what do I mean by that? And then I realized what I had done, in the sense of like, I had basically sabotaged myself to protect this because I loved it so much. And it was like, I almost had to do the same with Alex, to be honest, because it was one of those things where it was like, I don't want to throw Alex away. I don't want to push Alex away. Alex has only ever been a good thing. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's so easy to, whether that's a person, whether that's a hobby or a job or whatever it is, you push it away because it's good for you, because you feel like you shouldn't have it, or you don't want to damage it, or you don't want to ruin it. And that's kind of the thing. But Alex never gave up. You guys never gave up. You know, it's one of those things where like, every time I've come back, you guys have been there. And I really thought about that. And that was something that happened, you know, in that mindset, was like, you know, I posted that announcement, and it's not that I expected everyone to be there, right? It's not that I'm like, oh yeah, they'll be there, it's fine. Because obviously a lot of time passed, and it's, you know, it's more realistic to think people move on. You know, the internet is an open space. You'll find another Abra, right? As sad as it is, there are many, many streamers out there, and I am another one, right? But it's one of those things where you guys prove me wrong every single time. And it's like, I posted that announcement and you guys were like, yeah, oh my God, let's go. And I'm like, I don't know why I doubted you guys. I don't know. It's just like, yeah, it's you guys are there. So yeah, prove me wrong again, I guess. I am blessed to have what I have. I'm blessed to have the person that I love. I'm blessed to have this job and the security that I have now. Why am I still in this shell of like, I can't have the things I want to have out of fear of ruining them, when I won't ruin them. They like, it wouldn't happen. And you're the only Abra. Okay, well, yeah, I guess telling myself that there's another Abra, right, is part of like me coping. And I think, yeah, the mindset I was in, I really like sat there and I was like, okay, realistically, if I stream, am I going to ruin it? No, of course I'm not. Like, unless I jump on there and start like flaming everyone, but I don't plan on doing that, right? And I want to, you know, I still want to create the fun experiences, and I still want to be that distraction in a way, right? Even though I was literally saying, oh, it's a distraction, it's a bad thing, but like, it isn't. It's a good distraction. It's a good like few hours of your day. You get to come on here, you get to vent and rant and sort of explain your struggles if you have any, and distract yourself if you want to distract yourself, and just you know, we are there for each other. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. And I'm thinking like, maybe that's a part of the reason I didn't want to ruin it, because I was like, this is so great. And I need to remember, and I reminded myself in that moment, I need to remember that you guys are there for me too. It's not just one way, right? And I know you've proven to that every single time. And yeah, I think it just clicked, and I spoke to Alex about it after thinking about it for a few days. I was like, I really sat down and I was like, look, I think I'm ready to face it again. And I needed to kick myself and say, look, at the end of the day, if you want to do that, if you want to stream, if you want to hang out with everyone in the chat and just be Abra, right? Do it. You're not going to ruin it. It's not a distraction. As long as I prioritize things a bit differently, and I think that's what I want to talk to you guys about in a bit. Just like the way that I'm thinking about it now is just being able to prioritize stuff differently. My energy might not be as Abra as it used to be, right? I'll still be Abra, don't get me wrong, you know, still laughing at stupid stuff and interacting with you guys, but I think because I am doing other things like working and stuff like that, it's one of those things. I just need to be realistic. I won't have the full Abra energy that was always there. I'll still be, again, I think you guys know what I mean, right? And I think before I was beating myself up because I would stream after work and I'd be so tired, and then I'd force myself to be like, not force myself, but like, you know what, you overdo it by sort of doing too much, and I need to kind of pull myself back and be like, okay, as much as I want to be hyper energetic, which I am, I will burn myself out, and I don't want to burn myself out. Going into streaming now with the mindset of like, okay, I'm gonna stream when I want to stream. I'll have the energy that I have. I think you guys understand that. I still want to, give you guys the best that I can, because that's what I wanted to say as well. I don't have a schedule. I don't really have a thing in mind. I think it's just a case of like, when I come home from work, if I have the energy, I'll stream. If I don't, I won't. Right? And I will try and hang out in Discord a bit more frequently now. Just because I feel like that's a better way to spend my energy rather than just like switching off entirely and then brute forcing the next day and then switching off entirely. If I just mediate it, I think that just works so much better.
I said it earlier, but we found you through Genshin, but we stayed for you.
Aww.
There's only one you. I've never watched such a wholesome guy Abraxo to love.
Rose, that's so sweet. Yeah, you guys say that all the time as well. Thank you for the 100. But yeah, you guys say it all the time. Like you found me through Genshin but stayed for me. That honestly, that means so much. Like, it genuinely does. Because the funny thing was, and I guess we can get onto it a little bit, but like, before Genshin, I was a variety streamer, believe it or not. And then obviously Genshin happened, and it was one of those things where I was like, okay, well, if I lock in on Genshin, that's kind of how the community then exploded, because I locked in on Genshin. And yeah, it's like, I'd like to go back to the variety again. I think Genshin is one of those where like, I will always love Genshin. I will always have a place in my heart for Genshin. I haven't touched it in a long time, so it's one of those things where it's like, I don't even know what I'm going back to. But yeah, I'll get more onto that later, but I think variety is where I kind of want to aim. Whether that's with Genshin or without for a bit, I don't know. We'll see. But I know you guys really liked the Genshin stuff. And that is a scary thought of like, the thing that made you like dropping that is kind of like, I don't want to be dramatic, but it's like streamer endgame, right? You drop the thing that made you popular, and then that's kind of your own career ending. But I know you guys have been so supportive with the idea of other stuff as well, so it's kind of like, I know a lot of you as well probably don't even play Genshin anymore, so one of those things is like, okay, well, whatever. But yeah, it's one of those. I don't know, I still need to think on it. So I'm not saying I will never touch Genshin ever again. That's not what I want to say, but it's one of those things where I don't know how to approach it. Going forward, I want to do variety. Going forward, I want to take my time with things. I will always update stuff on Discord in terms of when streams happen. And if they don't happen for whatever reason, like if there's a gap or if things, I will try and stay like in general chat. So if I get pinged or I see someone ask, I will, hopefully that will remind me to give an update in case I do forget from now on. Because yeah, I do the biggest regret I have after like not being here is not telling you guys. Indie games, Scarlet, that's the thing, like I'm kind of open for things, if that makes sense. Like there are games I want to play. For example, even today I was thinking if we end up playing something, I'd love to play the new Palworld update. I think Palworld will be a fun game to stream. I like stuff like just anything, again, anything survival. I mean, whatever, like it doesn't matter. I was thinking Project Zomboid. I was thinking even like Valheim. What else is there? There's that Windrose came out like not that long ago. I'd love to play that. Minecraft, yeah, I love Minecraft. I think my modded and vanilla both go hard. Hear me out. What about a community server on Minecraft? Blink, you know what's really funny about that? I actually have done this in the past. I've had a community Minecraft server and we streamed on that server and it was so good. We would do like every Sunday we had, I can't remember what we called it, but I basically built in creative on the server like a mini game with like command blocks and stuff, and I would like teleport the whole server to like this like stadium, and then in the middle we'd like play the mini game, and I'd either play it with them or I would spectate and watch the community play the mini games, and then I would give rewards on the server. So I'd give like enchanted books or enchanted armor, and I'd even give like broken stuff, so like stuff only you could only get in with commands. It was so fun. Abra, I just know you're gonna love Palworld. Yeah, so I've played Palworld in the early access, and I really enjoyed it. I never finished it. I only got like, I think I was only like a few towers in, and I was like level 40 at most, I think. But I know they've obviously like fully released it now. So there's new pals, they've doubled the map, they've changed a lot of it as well. So, oh, chat, I've been blessed. Water, water from the heavens. Thank you, Alex. Everyone in unison. Thank you, Alex. I'm so glad you guys are okay though. Like, just in general, coming back and seeing that you guys, just hearing from you guys, especially in Discord as well, like for the last couple of days, just hearing what you guys have been up to. It's so nice, you know, hearing that. Like the messages that are like, oh, you know, when you last streamed, I was struggling in this, but now I got through that and I'm doing this. It's like, oh, it's just so nice to hear. I'm scared to go to the bathroom because the mic might actually pick it up. That is a very good point. I mean, you can try, Alex, but now you've outed it, they're going to notice. The reason she says that is because the bathroom is right next to the office, and when the toilet flushes, it's quite loud. But now you've outed it, they're going to notice. I'd rather die. Okay, well, yeah, I'm trying to think of the rundown of like the 2 years. It's kind of like, I feel like I haven't told you everything, because it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I got married, which it's like, when I say it like that, it doesn't sound big, but it was. It's like, yeah, I got married. And then it's like, I moved house, and I got a house. It's like, yeah, that's good. But then when I say it like that, it doesn't sound like a lot. I promise you, over the course of that 2 years, it's like, up until maybe like 2-3 months ago, that was all happening. So it's kind of like, even though it's summed up in like a few sentences, it took months. How was the wedding? It was good, dude. Honestly, it was perfect. It was exactly how we wanted it. Low key, like small, but like exactly where we wanted it. It was awesome. He's hatless. Au contraire. I have a hat. I'm just not wearing it. An Abra is never truly hatless. Chat, how do we feel about playing some Palworld? How does this sound? We're about to mog on absolutely every single one of these pals. They have no idea what's coming.